Okay, welcome guys to a Gravekeeper deck profile. This is like a 2020 format one. I did try this about 3 to 4 times in my locals. It's got an average percent of like a 90% win rate. I kept on winning 3 out of 5, so it ain't that bad. But this is going to be the trap variant of it. I think it's the most consistent part of the deck, really. But yeah, I'm going to get straight into it because I don't want to waste all your time. So I run 3 of the spiritualist, and this is the one with fusions for the big boy in the deck. What's quite useful to say the least. 3 commandant, obviously standard. The one headman, because I really felt like the main fusion monster just has this to hand anyways, and really I'm only running about 10 monsters to 1 Gravekeeper spy. And just before you say, I have got I've got all the deck. I've been running this deck since I was back in school, and that was a very long time ago. So I've been playing Gravekeepers throughout my whole life of Yu-Gi-Oh! But I'm just choosing to run 10 monsters in this one because it's more fun. 1 descendant and 1 of this guy. Personally, I've chosen this guy over anyone else because I normally want to keep 1 Gravekeeper monster on the field, and they keep destroying it with card effects and all that. So I decided, why not run one what says it's unaffected by everything? So they can't just get rid of it, and they have to always attack. And just to prove a point, it is very good in this deck. That's just the monsters, and I bet you're like, wow, that's just the monsters? Right, this deck runs a lot of spell and traps. So, pretty standard. 3 Royal Tribute, 3 Necro Valley, and 3 Throne. Just to make sure you get a Necro Valley on your first turn. And also, funny fact about the tournament with my 3 Necro Valleys. This is the oldest Necro Valley in the game. This is like near enough the first Necro Valley ever produced. And then it went on to this one. This was the 2nd oldest Necro Valley. And by the way, they all have different wording for their effect. And this is the newest Necro Valley. So it's quite funny when it comes into the tournament. They have to, if I've got down the field, they're like, oh, can you get the newest version out? I've got all 3 versions. Just to prove a point out how old they are. Right, me just blabbering on about my past. Right, I've got 2 of this in deck, just because it can stop your opponent from specialman. It's quite a good card, but when you don't really have a monster in the field, what's a Gravekeeper, and you're drawing 1 card per turn, you draw into this, it's quite a dead card. I don't know if I want to run any more than that, but it's really optional at time. Now, I'm running a kind of budget version of this, so I'm running 2 Pot of Desires. Personally, maybe running Pot of Extravagance as well would be a good idea. 3 Pot of Duality, add more consistency in the draw power. 1 card of Demise, used to be at 3, but now the ban list is here, so unfortunately, yeah. And 1 Terraforming. Getting on with the traps, I run 3 Mirror Force, 2 Solemn Strike, 3 Solemn Judgment, 2 Solemn Warning, and you can tell this if you get it on, if you go first, it's very like more of a going first deck. Then you can really stop your opponent in the 2nd turn. 2 Crackdown, 1 Storming Mirror Force. I'm running these because I versed the deck with that one that says Banished. Its attack goes up to the Banished. So always had like 8k, so having this in the deck counted it really. And just because recently I've lost against Dark Magicians a lot, and I realised I don't really run any back row, and plus half the time you don't really have a hand, so you can't activate Twin Twisters or use Super Pollination. Because just discarding. That's why in a minute when you see my extra deck, you'll be wondering what the hell they're in there. But I am running 2 Heavy Storm Dusters as well, just because I want to get rid of the back row, and they're just you can set them on the field. You don't have to discard anything. Yeah, and for extra deck, obviously, well, Super Pollination target with no use. Bulbasaur Dragon. He could run an expensive cards in his deck as well, as Bulbasaur or Goddess, any of the others, but you really don't really want to go into extra deck much. The only card you're really going to is this guy, and he is just amazing in deck. It protects your Necro Valley, and it can't be destroyed by card effect, and it prevents your... Well, it gains about 800 attack for when you fusion into it, so it'll always be up 3,300. Unless you use Headman, it'll be 3,200. And draw an end phase, you get to add any Gravekeeper from deck to your hand. Well, card. So it's also useful like that. Abyss Dweller, never really gone into these. Nightmare, Decos Talker. This card, just because of gaining attack, pretty standard. And really, I just run 3 of them. And pretty standard again on Nightmares. But yeah, that's pretty much the whole deck. I hope you enjoyed it. And I'll probably do a future deck profile of Guard Dragons if you'd like to see that. Thanks for watching.